I believe we are live. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me okay. While I set this up, this is my first live stream with this software, so I appreciate you guys jumping in with me. Appreciate Mason, I already see you in the chat. Let me just get set up here so we can see the draft board. Where are we here? Let me set that up. There we go. There we go. You guys see that? You hear me, you can see me, everything's good? Awesome, thanks Mason. All right guys, welcome to the first official stream. I really wanted to get one going, well, on the FFPC, because as I'm sure most of you, is definitely my favorite site to draft on.
Now
of course, I get
you
the
are on the
101.
clock.
All right, let's maybe mute this site. And all right, we scored the 101. Pretty fitting for the first official draft to get the 101. So for those who don't know, we're doing the never too early Superflex. And yeah, I mean, I guess I got to go chalk first. What do I think? Do I mix it up here? Now let's give it to Josh Allen. All right, there we go. Little Josh Allen to start it off. I mean, the beginning of these are pretty chalk. You got, oh, look at that. We already have Jalen Hurts coming off the board in the second spot. I was considering maybe Lamar, but I mean, coming off MVP season, who knows? I mean, any of these top three, I think, are legit if you have these top three spots in the, let me see if I can just adjust this a bit better. There we go. Yeah, I think if you're doing these never too earlys, so they're $35 entry, $40,000 for first, I believe. Is it $40,000 or $10,000 for this one? Let me go check really quick here. I believe, I don't know if you know, Mason, here we go, the Superflex. So we're looking at prize structure, just pulling it up here, $10,000 for first for this one. So the $35 buy-in is a Superflex, and it's a $10,000 first prize. And then the 125, which is a 1 QB tight end premium, never too early, also on the FFPC, is $40,000 for first. So if you guys don't already play on the FFPC, you can see at the top right of the screen there, DR Baller, DRBALLER. You can use that code when you create your account, your first deposit, and you start with your first team. That'll give you $25 off your first team. So if you're doing a $35 buy-in, it's basically covering most of your costs. You just got to pay the difference of $10, and you can win yourself a nice 10 grand. Nice, cool 10 grand. All right, first round is up. Pretty chalk across the board. I got the wrong eyes here. Let me get my proper glasses on here, because I won't be seeing much. If you guys hear some noise in the background, we've got some work being done today, of course, of all the days. Got some drilling, some saws going, just some work here just outside of the house. So you might hear a bit of that in the background. Hopefully it's not too distracting. So yeah, first round pretty chalk. 4 QBs off the board. Lamar, Hurts, Jaden, and Allen. And then you've got the first non-QB and Jamar, also pretty chalk. Barkley, who just hit the lottery basically with his $40 million contract in the 6th spot. Joe Burrow, Bijan, Brock, Gibbs, and then a little receiver run there with JJ, Nakua, ASB, CD, and Neighbors. I feel like the first few rounds anyways this year are pretty chalk. I think when you get in the third, you start seeing a bit of discrepancy, or there's, mixing up going on. But depending on who the drafters have as favorites. But first couple rounds, I mean, you can't really go wrong. I feel like the board, as we go, like this year, especially when we're adding all these rookies in here, the board just fills up more and more nicely, with less kind of weak spots, if you can call it that. So I've got the Allen out of the one spot already. Stuck it pretty chalk. We'll see what falls back to us. Mason's coming up here in the... Where is he? He's in the... Oh, is that... He's in the 4 spot. Is that him? It's odd because I see his name on here, but then in the... it shows up differently on my draft board. So I guess I'd have to refresh it. Let's see if we refresh it, if it changes it. Yeah, there he is. So he's in the 4 spot. So Mason's starting off with the Lamar, Breece Hall. Breece Hall, an interesting guy right now in fantasy land. McBride would have been a nice pick coming back to me here. So A.J. Brown off the board. That's another nice one. Let's see. Receivers are going pretty quick. Might throw... Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to double tap on receiver here. I mean, there's some pretty nice value at running back, but I feel like the receivers grow a little quicker. Just trying to see where these guys are going ADP-wise. If you guys are drafting on FFPC, make sure you go sign up to fantasymojo.com for all your ADP info. So I grabbed McConkey. I'm just trying to decide here if I want to go with a running back with that, or you know what? I might actually grab A-Chain here. Yeah, I'm going to go with A-Chain. A little bit of a rainbow start, but I feel like A-Chain is kind of the... Not that he's forgotten, because let's face it, anyone in the top 3 rounds are not necessarily forgotten, but like I'm looking at the past 2 weeks on Fantasy Mojo, and A-Chain was going mid-second, kind of that 2-6 spot. So to get him, you know, at the 301, I could have went with another receiver there. But so far, not bad. There was one other receiver I was considering there to pair with McConkey, but not a bad start so far. 2 spot doing a similar build with A.J. Brown and JT to follow his Jalen Hurts start. Yeah, there we go, Mason. I see you. I just had to refresh my board. A little chaotic to get this first one started because I'm still not 100% comfortable with this software I'm using, and kind of my screen's all set up. But so far, so good. We've got the draft board showing. And yeah, next time I'll have these scheduled a little more ahead of time and be able to post your comments, your chat comments on the screen and all the little details. But right now I just wanted to get this going, try out the new software, make sure everything works properly, the cameras. So far so good. What do we add here? Mid 3rd round. So we've got 8 running backs off the board, 9 quarterbacks. And obviously, I mean, I feel like the tight ends, you've got Bowers and then McBride, and then usually Kittle, I believe, comes off next. And then you've got Laporta later on, and then it kind of trickles down pretty consistently with the tight ends. I haven't seen anything really different in any of the drafts that I've done so far in the FFPC, especially with the tight end premium. Seems to be pretty chalk with regards to the order that these guys go in. Maybe that'll change once the NFL draft. You know, the NFL draft usually gives a little spice to our best ball drafts. So Bo Nix going off the board to end the 3rd round there. Nice start by number 11, Amadan. JJ, Lamb, and then Nix. I like that. And then the 12 spot gets himself a nice stack with Goff, ASB, and then Puka, Kyron Williams. Some Ram stackage there. Again, I say it often when I'm drafting this time of year. It's hard to find, I don't want to call them mistakes, but it's hard to find, I don't know what to call. I don't know what to call it. What's the politically correct? Peanut Punch. There he is. Peanut Punch is always in the draft room. You sign up on the FFPC, you're probably going to see Peanut Punch in your draft. What's up, man? I appreciate you joining, buddy. AJ, appreciate you joining in. And I appreciate that as well. Yeah. So for those who don't know, basically, we had the GOAT District going pretty strong. We joined the Player Profiler. Everything was cruising really well. I just, life kind of got in the way between my career at the time. My daughter was getting into every sport and hobby you could think of. And it was just getting a little too tough with getting the stream going, the GOAT District going, with putting shows together and all the back end stuff. So I had hung that up and didn't expect to be back this soon. I'm not going to lie. But had shoulder surgery in October. My left shoulder had a pretty big tear, rotator cuff. Was out for a couple months. And the company that I was working for, 10 years, when I came back after the holidays, basically told me they were going in a different direction, which is kind of what some of these guys like Tyler Lockett and Christian Kirk, I'm sure we're getting the corporate line today. So we're back. Decided to, I got time on my hands, so I might as well get back to what I love doing the most. Ooh. Kind of wishing I had taken that second receiver just with what's here, but I might actually go. I'm definitely going to take a little James Cook action because one of my favorite stacks, especially in Superflex, is locking up receiver and running back. So we'll throw James Cook in there. Actually, I don't mind that. With I'll probably run an anchor with A-Chain and Cook. And can never go wrong with this guy. Couple receivers here I'd go with. Let me just see where they're going. Yeah, they're going back to back. All right, who did I take first? I took a rookie first, so I'll take the veteran. The more veteran receiver to pair him up with. So Mike Evans, the old reliable, how many seasons now with 1,000 yards? I mean, you never want to be the guy holding the, what is that saying? Holding the bag, I guess, too long. But dude's consistent, man. And as long as he's healthy, you've got him back with Baker next year. I think he's pretty nice wide receiver 2 there. Could even be my wide receiver 1. Depending on what the Chargers do. But, I mean, McConkey's blow up in the playoffs, that ceiling that you saw, as much as you got to think the Chargers are going to bring in some more weapons for Herbert, McConkey showed that he's here to play and he's here to stay. So I like him going into this year as well. Even though he is going, in the more expensive range of the drafts. So we started off with Allen, McConkey, A-Chain, Cook, and Evans from the 1 spot. Normally, I'll crush the yellow from the 1 spot in these drafts, but with the rookie draft coming, and you guys can comment, I know Peanut Punch and Mason, you guys are pretty, you guys are vets in the drafting world yourselves, but you want to grab some of the, I don't want to say guaranteed, but those locked in RB1s, those true workhorses that even if their team does draft, someone maybe in the 3rd, 4th, or even later, you're not too concerned aside from injuries with them kind of losing volume. Get my coffee going here. All right. Oh yeah. Little black Americano. Started off, get a little kick going. Oh, that's already cooling off, man. All right. So we're in the 5th round already. That's what's nice about these drafts. They go pretty quick. Already going at the end of the 5th. And it's a slim. Whenever you do the tournaments, they're usually slims, which means it's a 20 round. So there's no defenses, no kickers. I'm actually doing right now a 250 with just a bunch of savages. You guys know Dan Williamson, the overhyped sleeper. He organized a private 250 on the FFPC best ball and that's actually a 28 rounder. So I teamed up with actually Peanut Punt. You would know the Shiva, Eric. I teamed up with him. I wasn't going to do it because I was like, you know what, it's too early for me to start doing 250s. But, you know, like Mason, it's hard to resist the urge. So I reached out to Eric. I'm like, hey, you want to team up with me on this thing? So once we have that done, I will try to get a quick draft review. I might even get Eric on with me so we can kind of talk about how the draft went, talk about our picks. I tried doing a draft review. You guys can go back and check it out on this channel. I didn't have anything set up. I just kind of whipped up the on-screen graphic stuff and just, it was more just to try the recording. And then I realized actually last night when I was putting all this logistics together, that I didn't even have the mic on during that thing. So while I was editing, I had to pump the volume up pretty high. But yeah, so if the sound's a little weak, that's why. But I'm trying to get the kinks out. Which is why today's draft is happening right now. I was hoping one of these sit and goes would fill just so I could try it out. And so far we're lucky. I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood, but the workers put the chainsaws away for us, which is nice. All right, let's get back to the draft. 6 spots already got his 3 quarterbacks: Mayfield, Purdy, Love, Goff and Penix in the 6th spot. So you've got, you know, a few guys with a couple quarterbacks. I actually finished, final tabled this draft last year, 2024. So like the year that just finished, I made it to the final table and then I got knocked out in the 12th spot. So went pretty far, was pretty happy with getting to the end, but just my team just flopped in the end. That happens to me in the FFPC. I remember I've talked about it on the channel before, but the football guys, when the big gorilla was called the football guys, I remember going into, I think it was 2015, the last weekend, I was going in 5th place, just licking my chops. I think it was 200 grand or 250 at the time. And of course, Andrew Luck from my Colts had to kill me going to Jacksonville and just had the worst. I think he was actually negative, could have been even negative points that weekend for him. So I think I finished 20th or something like that. So yeah, we'll hopefully this year turns around. Hopefully, if you guys join me, I was telling Mason, my goal is to get these live streams going regularly, at least 1 a week, if not 2 or 3, just depending on the traffic, my schedule, all that kind of stuff. All right, we're on the clock. Let me see here. So interesting. Actually. Yeah. All right. I think I'm going to go carry on with my vet receivers. Let me see here with my what round are we in? 7 already. Wow. Just flying through this draft. All right. All right, we're going to smash the yellow. I'm going to go with a couple. The reason I'm taking Adams and Metcalf here, one is Adams. It doesn't matter where he goes. The guy's a beast. He's always one of the best in the league. I can look up actually what he did last year. Considering the situation he was in, going from Vegas to the Jets with his old faithful Rodgers, which you guys know what kind of season that was, still finished wide receiver 9 in 2024 fantasy points per game. So to get him as the wide receiver 23 right now, yes, we don't know where he goes, but one of the reasons I like drafting earlier in the offseason is trying to take guys at value, but also a value that I think will have a really good chance of climbing up the draft board. So I know today in the news, Metcalf, Seahawks obviously made let Lockett walk. He's going to be a free agent, and then Metcalf requested a trade officially. I mean, we were kind of hearing all the rumors about them trying to trade him and all that. And yeah, I was thinking about it, Mason. I was thinking about it there, but yeah, I feel like Adams and Metcalf are two guys that can really increase their value as we go through the offseason. So depending on where they sign, you got to think wherever Adams goes, most likely a contender, I would imagine, unless Rodgers gets in some kind of good situation and wants him to play with him again. But I would imagine Adams is really wanting to play in some playoff games and maybe even a Super Bowl. So I could see him going to contender. And then Metcalf, same thing. Like he gets signed, traded somewhere, and a team invests in that transaction, bringing a guy like DK in there. The guy's a beast. You got to think they're going to be just feeding him the ball. So I like being top heavy at receiver. Having 4 right now to me is perfect. Having my two anchor running backs in H8 and Cook, and then I've got Josh Allen, my anchor quarterback in the first round. Let's see what Mason's doing. Mason's got Lamar, Herbert, and then Hall and Chase Brown. Chase Brown could be really nice value. I think people are expecting Cincinnati to, knock him down, I guess, value-wise in the draft, but he crushed, man, towards the end of last year. And I know Nelson Sousa was a big proponent of Chase Brown. And then DJ Moore and Tet, I like that, T-Mac. And then Kelsey. I mean, Kelsey will probably, I guess he's where he belongs. I'm just thinking, like, will he move up as the offseason goes? I think he might. Just people will realize that last year he was the tight end 2 and by quite a bit, if I remember correctly. So tight end 2 or tight end 1? I'm going to have to look that up again. Sorry, I'm trying to drink this coffee while it's still drinkable. I got to drink when it's like, I don't know about you guys. I need it hot. That's why I drink it black. I like black Americanos. I like it steaming hot. Once it gets past a certain temperature, it's already kind of there. So Adams' attitude is a risk. That's an interesting one. I haven't heard that one. Almost like the risk of possible suspension, off-field issues. Interesting. With Devontae Adams? I've never heard that. That's interesting. All right, I'll have to look up. I'll have to do some research on that because that's news to me. But yeah. Anyways, all that to say, I like looking for guys that I think will increase in value. As the offseason goes. Peanut Punch in the 2 spot. He's got Hurts. Oh, I like that Hurts May combo. A.J. Brown, Wilson, and Rice at receiver, and then JT and Montgomery. That's a nice build. Again, it's hard to find, builds that are not possible contenders this time of year. I know in our 250, I was talking to Dan the other day, and you really can't point out one team that's, crushing it over everyone else type of thing. So, all right, let's see where we're at here. Eighth round already. All right, let me see what's going on. This position. All right. It's already getting ugly. Oh, okay. There's one of my picks. All right, let's see what we can do here. Definitely going to grab. I don't love it, but I feel like it's one of those with Kincaid that, everyone was on him last season. This is probably the season. I know they were talking injury was a big reason for that last year. Let me just see. Where's this guy going? Round 9. Oh, man, this is ugly. Oh man, do I push it? I might push it. I'm going to push it. Yeah, why not? I'm going to go Judkins here. Get a little rookie fever in there. Rookie flavor in there as my RB3. Gotta love the upside there. So, I mean, I don't have a QB2 yet. If I were to, I mean, you guys can see it on the board. The salmon attacked the 7th and 8th round with the quarterback. So, you know, if I were to go back in time, I would probably grab a quarterback on that 6-7 turn, which is probably what I should have done. I was thinking of taking JJ there, but even he's a little risky. I mean, look, it's a tournament, right? If you're going to take risks, this is the place to do it, is in a tournament, not necessarily in a 12-man league. But we don't know if he's starting the season. But now that I look at it, I mean, that's the 5 spot. He didn't have a quarterback till JJ. So not bad that he ended up with JJ and Sanders. I'm not going to chase the position, even if it's ugly right now, because it's not a 2 quarterback. It's super flex, right? So you don't necessarily have to fill that flex spot with a quarterback. So usually what happens with the super flex is you end up with like that super flex slot as a flex and then just one other flex spot. So, you know, I could have double tapped on tight end there. But no, I mean, so far I'm good with it. Kraft is a nice tight end too there in the 9th round by the 5 spot. Mason, I like that build so far. Very nice. Adding Addison and Pickens. Like I was considering even double tapping with Addison and then JJ on that 7-8 or that 6-7 turn, but that would have been early. Like look how much farther Addison went. So again, you don't want to chase positions. You don't want to be left out to dry at a position, but oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I feel like those internal dressing room type situations, Mason's in the chats talking about. Yeah, Brad, what's up, man? That's kind of what I was getting at. If I had to redo it, knowing that salmon run, which is what I'm calling the QB run there from 7 to 8, knowing that was going to happen, I probably take one at the 6-7 turn. But I'm also not going to chase one and reach, you know, way early, like 3-4 rounds, just to get like a shitty QB2. You know what I mean? So I was just explaining that super flex spot is a super flex spot. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a quarterback. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens the rest of the draft. I'm never in a panic mode. I'm never chasing a position. I'm basically saying, you know, Josh Allen is going to be my starter every week except for the week he's on bye. All right, the coffee's still, it's decent. Could be hotter, but it's good enough for now. So yeah, again, just to answer your question, Brad, do I wish, you know, I had maybe, but the problem is, and that's why I like looking at like Fantasy Mojo, the ADP draft board for this tournament. He's got the last 2 weeks. So if you go to fantasymojo.com and you can see exactly where these guys are going. So, you know, as much as I'm kind of, I don't want to say left scrambling, but I'm going to have to figure out my QB2 situation, let's say. I'm not too panicked. Because, like I said, that it's not like a 2 quarterback. You know what I mean? Like when you do a 2 quarterback format, whether it's, you know, whatever dynasty or redraft or best ball, which I don't even know if they have best ball 2 quarterback, but I just did a 2 tight end, start 2 tight end, super flex dynasty. That's already been a month now since we did that draft, but. Like there, you have to start 2 tight ends. You know what I mean? So if you don't have that second tight end locked up somehow, whether it's a committee or like, you know, you draft early at the position, then you're kind of screwed because you're going to get zeros. Whereas here, the Superflex spot, which is that second quarterback, if your second quarterback's not scoring enough to be in that spot, your positional players will fill it in for you, right? So I don't know if that answers your question, Brad, or if you agree or disagree. Again, it's always easy to say, like, you know, once it's happened, the boards happen. You know, I wish I did that. I wish I did this. But in a live draft, it's a little harder to adjust. And not gonna lie, this being my first live stream, I'm not 100% comfortable just yet with managing the logistics and actually drafting and paying attention to what's happening. So, you know what, we'll see how it ends. We'll see how the draft ends. We are coming to the 10-11 turn already, which is nuts. All right. Probably go... Man, this guy's even tough to take. Ooh, I really like this guy. Really like this guy. All right, you know what? I'm going to take... Whoops. What just happened? Ah! No! No. Don't auto-draft me. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. See, this is what happens when you stream for the first time. Now I'm not okay. Now I'm annoyed because I definitely did not want Jake Ferguson. Yeah, that I had a little sputter with my internet or something there, but I was clicking on Carr. I did not want Jake Ferguson at all in that second spot. But you know what? We'll adapt. That's fine. We'll adapt. Not ideal at all. Just not a Jake Ferguson guy. I mean, you got to think he bounces back and that whole Dallas offense bounces back. But with this build, I was not looking at all for a tight end there. All right. We will adapt the rest of the way. That's what you got to do, right? The back end of the draft. I mean, there was some receivers and running backs I really liked there. Egbuka was one of them. I mean, a couple of these rookies were definitely nice. There's actually a lot of receivers left on the board right now that are really nice. And there's one specific running back that I really like drafting that I was considering there. Or, yeah. Let's see. Ferguson in the 11th. Yeah, that's just ugly. That's just ugly. I mean, I got to fill up my queue more. That's my lesson of the day. When I'm streaming, I'm going to make sure I fill up my queue just in case. Yeah, Russ was the other guy. I was going to double tap probably with Russ there, but I wanted to see what else was available. And when I clicked on Carr, the auto draft for some reason kicked in, even though I had clicked it before the end of the time. But it's all good. We'll adapt. Mason takes my Russell. Thanks, Mason. Enjoy it. Where do you think he ends up? Probably Vegas? No? I don't know. I heard Darnold to Vegas. That one seemed interesting to me. I like Darnold this year a lot. I think people are putting too much on those last two games. For me, last season was Darnold's rookie season. You know, like everything before that was just A, was disaster when he was with the Jets, and B, he's young. Now he's older, but he came in the league, I think he was 20 or 21 when he first got drafted. So I really like Darnold going into this year. I think he's in a pretty nice value. But all right, it's all good. We'll adjust to this build. The nice thing with this is we have, how's my screen? You guys can see everything good on the screen, right? Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I was thinking with Russ. So I like that you have him and Pickens. That's actually a really nice. I was looking at that on the 8-9, but the reason I didn't do it on the 8-9 was it would have been a huge reach on Russ. You know what I mean? And I really don't like reaching on quarterback. I don't know what's going to happen with Carr. I don't even know what the latest. Let me see if there's any updates on. Pretty sure he's not going to be starting unless you guys heard otherwise in New Orleans. let's see. Yeah, not really much in the way of news. Let's go to latest here and see if there's anything. Yeah, my hesitation with Carr is, I mean, I feel like he's a starter. Yeah, it's just a bunch of people kind of guessing. So no news yet. We'll see what happens with Carr. Could still, I mean, there's you guys know there's a good handful of teams, if not more, that are still looking for starting quarterbacks, especially like bridge quarterbacks. So you got to think that he lands somewhere where he's at least starting if he's not going to be with the Saints. All right, I got to get my head in the game here so I don't get another auto draft. What do we have here? So we're already towards the end of the 12th round. Wow. So these go pretty quick. Which is why I auto-picked. I feel like these used to be 60 seconds. Or am I thinking about something else? Maybe not the sit and goes. Maybe that's why. The sit and goes are... I don't usually do the sit and goes. I usually do the scheduled ones. But this time of year, they're tough. I was even talking to Alex from the FFPC. And it's tough to get into a live draft. Especially like the 35 range. Right now, the 125 seem to be filling a little quicker, let's say. All right, let me look at my build here. All right, so I am going to go. I have Adams already. I'm going to grab Rodgers in case he follows him. I'm not going to wait till the last 3 seconds this time so I don't get auto-picked again. And yeah, I have Carr and small chance. I mean, I don't think it's 100% he's not back with the Saints next year. So small chance he's back. I'm going to take Shaheed. I really like Shaheed this year. He really showed nicely before his injury last year. So by some chance, Carr's back with the Saints. Gives me a nice wide receiver 5 with upside there and Shaheed. Haha, Mason. Mason's trying to make me feel better. Mason's just a nice guy. Appreciate it, buddy. But yeah, it is. I feel like when you get past the like 9th, 10th round, I feel like the ADP goes out the window. I mean, you can, especially like at a certain position, if you see certain guys ahead of others, like that's what I'm learning, especially these earlier drafts. It's hard to follow ADP. I know in that 250 that we're doing right now, we just started reaching for guys and taking guys, you know, especially the rookies ahead of where they were going, just because the ADP is kind of, it's not really settled yet because there haven't been that many drafts. And B, you know, it's kind of up for grabs once you get in the double-digit rounds when it comes to ADP. So, look, I mean, we didn't panic. Do I love my QB2 situation? I mean, if Derek Carr stays with the Saints or ends up in a good starting spot and Rodgers ends up with Adams somewhere, I mean, I'm definitely happy. Because, like I said, I'm really just trying to fill my QB2 spot when it's needed, and then that bye week with Allen, right? My QB1 should be Josh Allen 99% of the week. So Harry Snowman, welcome back. I haven't heard from you, buddy, in a while. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope everything's going well. I was going to reach out to let you know I was doing this. It kind of crept up on me and filled a lot quicker than I thought. But B, I know you're a busy man, and I know usually during the day you're knee deep in those in that paperwork and just making the world a better place. So appreciate you joining, buddy. And one thing I'll say is, you guys in the chat, I'll try to leave me. I pretty much know, Brad, I don't know your X handle, but if you guys are interested in me kind of giving you guys a heads up when I go live, I'll be doing at least one, if not 2 or 3 of these a week. Daytime, evening, whatever, whenever I get time to do it, or whenever the schedule works with the FFPC best ball schedule, or when these sit and goes, whenever I see these sit and goes are filling, and like today it was down to 4, and that's why I put that tweet out. I know Mason, you ended up jumping in. I appreciate that. So let me know, Brad, if you're interested in joining us more frequently. I can always add you to the list on the X machine, and I can reach out to you whenever we do these live drafts. But appreciate you guys tuning in. We are already in the 14th. All right, let me roll this up here so you guys can see it. I mean, this is a really fun tournament. Like I said, you've got the Never Too Early Superflex, and then you've got the 125, which is for 40 grand. That one is a slim as well, but only 1 quarterback tight end premium, whereas this one's Superflex. I mean, the Superflex adds so much spice to it, so much flavor. I prefer it personally. I seem to have more success with the Superflex drafts just in general on this site. All right, let me get my queue set up here, just in case. We don't need another auto pick. Every time I add a guy to the queue, they disappear, which is usually the case. All right. Oh, no, he's still there. Why is he disappearing on me? Okay. All right. So we are approaching the 14-15 turn here. Let me just check something real quick. Oh, wow, we're already in the clock. All right. All right. I think I know which way I'm going here. Oh, I'm on the clock. There you go. There's like a delay going on. That's what kind of messed me on that auto draft earlier. All right, I'm going to take... What do I have? 3 running backs. I'm going to go with another rookie, Ollie Gordon. And then I'm choosing between a couple receivers here. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go old school. I'm going to kick it old school with Amari Cooper. I feel like last year, I've got a Buffalo stack going. I don't necessarily expect him back in Buffalo. I just think that his price is really cheap right now. I think he just got to Buffalo last year, and I don't know if they just didn't know how to use him or he just didn't adapt to the playbook enough. But, I mean, he showed a bit towards the end there. In the playoffs, I believe a touchdown. I'd have to look all that up. I'm kind of talking out of my ass right now. Especially my memory is my age. The memory is not the best, let's face it. I love that. That's awesome, Mason. I'm going to tell Alex about that one. If you're an auto draft in these things, you should get a guy that's 2 rounds away, not in the next in the queue. I love that, actually, because there's nothing like a guy being on auto draft and he snipes you. You know, I was talking about the Dynasty draft. I did it way early. This was in January. We combined basically 2 GOAT leagues, Superflex and like the original one, which was 1 QB. We just made it into 1 Superflex, start 2 tight ends. So we're like, let's just start it all over, redraft it, the whole deal. And this guy just killed the 8-hour clock. I think it was 8 hours. It may have even been at 12 hours at that point. Killed the whole clock And then he sniped me like in the last. I was telling Snowman. I was telling you, Rob, about that one. I was so pissed. I don't even remember who it was now. But all right, let's see his game log. I'm looking at Cooper. Yeah, I mean, he really wasn't fantastic. He had one nice game. Wide receiver 5 gave you 27 points week 3. Earlier, I believe that's before the trade, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I just think Cooper, like, I feel like he's got still gas left in there. You know what I mean? Especially 15th round. His upside, he's 30, but I think he's still got a bit to give at his age. And like I said, I don't know that he's back in Buffalo. I feel like he's probably not. Again, if you guys know more on that, let me know. But see, that's what happened. Mason saying Ford. Yes, you are right. It is elite. And I don't usually get upset about you guys using clock because I know I've been that guy. You know, when I had a job, it was definitely a reality for me, some of these slow drafts. But all right, we're coming around 16th round. You guys still see the board? You guys got to give me a quick heads up if you don't see it because I'm still getting adjusted here. There we go. I think you guys can see it better now. And let me know as well, like, can you guys see everything clear on the screen? Like, just so I know that everything is logistically solid. Because, like, I see it on my screen, but it's so small, the draft board, that I don't know if it's, like, clear or if it's blurry at all. Anyways, let me know if there's any issues. Hopefully my sound's okay. So we are 16th round coming back. We'll go through the draft board quickly once we're done. I'm not going to start rifling off rosters in the draft here. If there's any picks you guys see that you like, one guy that I was considering there, the other receiver I was considering with Cooper was Hollywood Brown. I just keep hearing a lot, including Mahomes and the Chiefs, of teams that are interested in him or that want him. And I know he was injured last year, but whether he ends up back in KC or he ends up in a team that wants him, I feel like he's, at worst, probably like at worst, the wide receiver 2 in that scenario. And I mean, unless he goes to a loaded like Chicago or something like that. I mean, that could always happen too with Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen leaves. But I feel like Hollywood Brown right now is a pretty good value in this range. Trey Harris is pretty nice in this range upside-wise. I don't know how you guys feel about Blake Corum. I'm kind of I keep going back and forth on him. I mean, you got to think that Kyron is solidified in that RB1 role, and Corum with injury and at some – in some scenarios, gets time out on the field. I mean, he was injured, right? So that's why we didn't see much of it. But when he was out there, he looked pretty good. I don't think we're going to get to a point where it's like a split backfield. But I don't know. Round 15 in the best ball is a pretty nice value. Oh, that's the guy I wanted right there. Who took that? Oh, Mason. You took my guy. You took my Tillman. I love me Tillman. Cedric Tillman at this cost with what we saw. All right, I'm talking too much again. Am I even in the right room? I'm not even in the right draft room. Look at that. There we go. Okay, there we go. Ooh. All right. Ooh, okay. Definitely going here. And all right. Do we have anything else there? Interesting. All right, I'm going to go Jordan Mason. Yeah. And then I'm going to take my tight end 3. I just think this guy's huge value right now. I'm tempted to go another direction, but I'm going to take him. I'm going to take Tyler Higbee. I feel like is really nice value right now in tight end premium. He should be back at full health. He's got Stafford back. Cup is gone. He might be my favorite tight end 3, tight end 4 in tight end premium right now. So stole my Mason. Well, I stole your Mason. You stole my Tillman. So we're even, Mason. That's hilarious. Mason. Yeah, DJ Giddens also a nice pickup in this range. You guys see the board properly? Let me scroll that up a bit. There we go. I mean, I feel like there's actually a lot. There's quite a bit of rookies, like especially in these later rounds right now. That, I mean, if they hit, you got huge upside there. But there's also those guys like Tillman, that are coming off injury and hold on. The throat is drying up. Yeah, tight end is deep this year. That's why that Ferguson auto pick really pissed me off. Because I had Kincaid for my Buffalo stack, but did not want to take. There's so many tight ends I like deeper. Like I would have preferred, instead of Ferguson, taking one of those young. I would have either wanted one of those 2 rookie receivers in Egbuka or Golden, or Najee. I like Najee a lot. Actually, Cooper Kupp too. I like a lot this year at his price. Pearsall, obviously, with the Debo trade, and now Ayuk being in the conversation, you got to think that his stock is going to rise quite a bit. So instead of Ferguson there, which was the auto pick, I would have way preferred either Najee or one of those receivers. And then I would have double tapped, instead of Jordan Mason here, I would have probably double tapped and taken like Higbee and Senat. Senat is probably, Higbee's like my locked in if I need dependable tight end 3 or tight end 4. But Senat, I mean, and I talked to Rob about this while I was doing that 2 tight end dynasty build. I ended up taking him, I think, as my tight end 2, because I just feel like the upside is unbelievable. And his price right now, he's nothing. It's round 17 for tight end premium. If Ertz either is not back in Washington or deals with an injury of any kind, and he's like 48 right now or whatever he is, I think he's my age. I mean, the upside is just monster for a guy like Senat. But yeah, you guys can see by the board. There's Coker. Coker is the other guy I considered. So Tillman and Coker, those are 2 guys in this range that I'm usually drafting, Mason. I like that you paired those 2, and then you paired Coker with Thielen. It's too bad you don't have Bryce. Do you have Bryce? No. That would have been a nice cheap stack. I love the cheap stacks. Whenever you can stack guys late, those are my favorite stacks in these type of drafts. So we're getting in the last rounds here, already in round 18. So what? I don't even know what time this started at. Where are we here? I don't really have a time on this thing, do I? No, I'm not seeing a time. Oh, there we go, 54 minutes. So yeah, it's about an hour. I mean, that's pretty good. These things are about an hour. Jalen Royals, another guy whose stock is slowly rising, and to get him in the 18th round is pretty nice upside. Especially that 11 spot went super green there from like round 12 to round 17. So to get that upside in Royals, Leggett I'm not huge on, just because I like Coker and I like Thielen. But I mean, who knows, that whole receiver core in Carolina could shake up so many different ways. And knowing them, they'll draft a couple more this year. So who knows? Theo Johnson's the other guy. Like I was waiting. I didn't want to start naming. Well, actually, all 3 of these guys: Jawan, Theo, and Brenton Strange. That's why I'm saying tight end is so deep this year. Like honestly, if I didn't have Allen, I probably wouldn't even taken Kincaid there, and then just smashed like tight ends from 16 to 19. 16 to 19 or Yeah, 16 to 19, giving me like a nice 4 tight end room, and or 4, 15 to 18, whichever way you want to look at it. But just to say that the position is so deep this year. All right, let's see what we have right now. I've got 3 quarterbacks, 2, 4, 5 running backs, 2, 4, 6 receivers, and 3 tight ends. All right, I like this guy. I'm going to start filling my queue here. There. Ooh, I do like this guy. Am I on the board? All right, we're already on the board. I'm going to look up something really quick here. What am I on time here? 15 seconds. See if I can. All right. I'm going to take this guy. Did it work or did it give me the auto again? Okay, there we go. It worked. You know what? I'm going to do it. This is kind of ugly. Yeah. All right. I'm going to do the Daniel Jones here just because my QB2 and 3 are pretty. I mean, yeah, they're pretty iffy, especially my 2. Like Derek Carr, I have no idea. I like Kendre Miller this year. I mean, do the Saints bring it, draft a running back? Probably, maybe, I don't know. But I feel like I love Kendre coming in as a rookie. He was probably my favorite running back, and then just dealt with injury after injury after injury. I'm just reading your notes there. So yeah, there's a receiver I really wanted. We just took him in that 250 I'm doing with Eric. But, I mean, everybody's a flyer, in the 19th round. So I think to get a guy like Daniel Jones, he's in the news right now. So depending on where he ends up, he could be a guy that climbs the draft board as a quarterback, especially if he ends up being a bridge quarterback somewhere. I mean, is he the best quarterback? We all know that he's not. But again, Superflex, tournament, those are the kind of swings you want to take in the 19th round. So I actually like that quite a bit with my build. Trying to see if I have any Giants on my team. No Giants. Just in case he re-signed there, but who knows? Where's the other place? I was trying to look up there was another place I heard they were showing interest. I think my Colts may have been talking about him to come and compete with AR, but either way, I mean, like I said, if I can get a guy like DJ, even if he gets me 2 weeks on this build, I mean, that's a huge pickup in this range. Am I hiding the board from you guys again? There we go. All right, there it is. We're approaching the 20th round. Trevor Etienne just went off the board. Trey Lance, interesting pick there. Last pick, boys. Last pick of the draft. Who are you going to take to fill that last roster spot on your team right now? Wow, you know what? I feel like the receiver, like the stud receivers, end quicker than you would think, but then it just goes deep with those flyers. So that's what I was saying in the beginning of the draft. Like the draft board is just, there's not too many weak spots. I mean, there are picks that you can make that can hurt your team, but I feel like, especially if you're just playing the tier game, you've got your tiers built. I think this year is really going to be about roster construction, build, who you pairing with who, that kind of thing. Stacks will probably play a big factor, especially in these tournaments. because I don't necessarily think there's like a dead zone or any of that kind of stuff. You know, like those. What was it? I'm trying to think what the range was. You know, it used to be round 3 or 4, I think, to 8 or something like that. Was like the RB dead zone. Harry Snowman, I feel like you know this stuff. You want to bet? Let's see. There he goes right there, Butte. Keyshawn Butte, I think, is a really nice late round receiver. What do I need here? Let me see. Yeah. All right. So I'll probably go. Let's see. Who'd you take? Taysom Hill's pretty good. I wasn't thinking Taysom. I mean, he's old, man. That guy's almost 40. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure he's like 30 something. Anyways, but I could see how you would think that was my my pick. Let me see what I've got here that I can pull out of a hat. Oh. All right. There. Oh, and my guy does go 2 picks. I was looking at Washington there. Does this guy make a comeback? Actually, you know what? I like this pick here. Let me just see what else is there. All right. Just gonna take Tolbert. Again, you're looking for a guy to fill 1, 2, maybe 3 weeks at this point. He's coming on pretty good last year. He had definitely an improved season, even though their quarterback situation was disaster. All right, guys. What do you guys think? Where'd you get to? I'm looking at Mason's comment there. Where did he go? The rookie. Oh, Tudor. There we go. 13th round. Is that what you're talking about? Best ball on call. Who's that? Best ball on call. Let me know who you are. Like I said, I'll if you guys drop your X handles in the chat, I'll make sure I notify you guys anytime I'm doing these live drafts. But can you guys see that? Yeah, there we go. All right, so that's the draft. 20 rounds, Superflex. One of us, hopefully, wins 10 grand. We'll see. Let's see. So I'll read through really quickly. I'm not a big fan of reading through all the rosters and everything, but maybe we'll look through it and you guys tell me which ones you like most. So I went Allen, McConkey, A-Chain, Cook, Evans, Adams, Metcalf, and then Kincaid for the Buffalo stack, Judkins for little rookie flavor, Derek Carr, Jake Ferguson was my auto pick, barf, Aaron Rodgers for the maybe Adams stack, Shaheed for the maybe Carr stack, Ollie Gordon for a little more rookie action, Amari Cooper, Jordan Mason, Tyler Higbee, Kendre Miller, Daniel Jones as QB4, and Tolbert. Let's look at Peanut Punch because I think he's might still be in there with us. Jalen Hurts, Drake May are his 2 quarterbacks. Oh, he went with a 2 quarterback build. I like that. AJB, Garrett Wilson, Rashee Rice, Judy, Buka. Actually, he's got a nice receiving core. Higgins, a little Adonai Mitchell for some upside, and Gabe Davis. Now that Kirk is gone, in Jacksonville, JT, Montgomery, Sharbs, Bigsby. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy, guys, with the scrolling. Corum, Giddens. I'll figure out eventually a way to put the whole screen on the whole board on the screen once we're done. And then Mason, you went Lamar in the 4 spot. In this 4 spot, Herbert, Russ went with 3 quarterbacks: Breece Hall, Chase Brown, Jalen Warren, Eckler, and then Marshawn Lloyd. And then Kelsey, Hunter Henry, and Taysom Hill as your tight end core. I like that. And then just smashed yellow all the way through. DJ Moore, T-Mac, Addison, Pickens, Downs. Ooh, I like that Downs pick. Thielen, Tillman, I love. Coker, Hopkins. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to find a weak build. I don't know if you guys see a team you like better or there's any. Anyways, you know what, guys? Take a look at it take a look at the draft board. Let me know in the comments if there's maybe a start you like or don't like, or, a pick that maybe you find is a little out of the norm or out of place, or that you really like. Anything in the comments is appreciated. I really appreciate you guys joining today, guys. And like I said, I'll notify you guys as much as I can. If you haven't already, drop your X handle in the chat. If you're watching this after on a replay, drop it in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in being on a list that, if I want to draft in the middle of the week, middle of the day, or whatever it is, and they're not filling, I can reach out to you guys and get you guys involved in the draft so you can draft with us and then follow along on the stream. So thanks a lot, Peanut, Harry Snowman, Mason, Brad, and Best Ball on Call. I still don't know who that is, so let me know your handles. But thanks for joining, guys, and make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss any of these streams. Like I said, I will do at least 1 to 3 live drafts this offseason every week. I'll be doing mostly Best Ball, mostly FFPC. I'll be doing a bit on another platform just when I can't get into FFPC drafts, because this time of year, as you guys know, it's a little slower. I will be doing some redraft as well, like some big gorillas, that kind of thing on here, but it's mostly going to be Best Ball centered. So if there's anything else you guys want to see, drop it in the comment. I appreciate you guys joining. We'll check you guys all later.